Hi all, welcome to my channel again. And this session is about the Docker introduction, where we are going to discuss about the topics like what is a container, what is a Docker. So, in the Docker architecture, under the Docker architecture, we have the Docker client, Docker host, and registry. So, everything we are going to discuss in this session. So, please watch until the end. If you want to check out this blog, I have mentioned everything in this blog. If you want to check out this, you can check this link in the description box. From there you can access this. So let's first discuss about what is a container. So container and virtual machines both are used to run our application. So if you see here, so normally containers are isolated environments containing their processes, networks and mounts. So virtual machines, if you see, first we are having the infrastructure, then hypervisor, then we are having the guest OS on each virtual machine. Whereas in case of containers, it is different. If you see here, first we are having the infrastructure, then we are having the host operating system. On top of that, we have installed the Docker where we are running our containers and applications uh, are present inside the containers with its libraries, so that here we are using virtual machine to run our container to run our applications. But here in this case we are having the applications and its libraries inside a container which can run anywhere anytime and as we want. Okay, so next is what is a Docker. So Docker is used to containerize our applications that can run anywhere, anytime, and as many times as we want in any environment. If you see here, we will be having some applications which we want to run. So instead of running them on the virtual machines, so we can use the Docker. So that can, if Docker can run on any flavor of OS as long as it has the same kernel. So that is the advantage. Since here container A is running, so here application A is running inside the container A. Here virtual machines are needed with separate guest OS. So the difference is that here for every application we are having each and different OS. If you see here, so it is separated the guest OS, but here the host operating system is same. Where on top of that we have the Docker, and on top of that we have the containers which are running our applications. So if you see here, so Docker, the advantage of using the Docker containers is that once we have the containers, then we can run that in any environment in as many times as we want, anywhere, anytime. So if you see here, we are having the first server, then host OS, hosted OS. This is the operating system. Then on top of that, we have the Docker engine, which is running our applications inside the containers. Here, if you see, this is the application 1, application 2, application 3, and its library. So container is running them each one separately. So next is the Docker architecture. Docker architecture, if you see here, first we are having the Docker client, Docker host, Docker registry. So when a client runs any command using the terminal, if you see, this is the terminal. So terminal first interacts through the daemon to the host. So host is nothing but client is us. Let us say we are interacting the host daemon through the terminal. Then in host we have the containers and the images, network and storage will also be there. So if you are so Host is nothing but it will give us the specific environments where we can run our containers and the images, and this host will interact through the this host will interact to the registry using the daemon itself. So when we are running any command which is related to the host or the registry, for example docker pull and push will go here in registry, and docker build docker run commands will go here. So we are using the same terminal to access both of this host and registry. Docker registry is nothing but where we can store our images and manage images, and Docker daemon is the environment. So Docker host is the environment where we can run our applications inside the containers. So this is the Docker architecture. I will explain you all of this detailedly again. So yeah, here Docker client. So Docker client, what we have discussed, Docker client uses commands to communicate with the Docker daemon server. So here, if we are running any command, then it will first go to the Docker daemon. When a client runs any Docker command on the Docker client terminal, the client terminal sends these Docker commands to the Docker daemon. So same like I have explained earlier. So Docker client uses the, for example, let us say if Docker client is running these commands, docker pull, docker build, and docker run. So whatever commands are related to the docker host will go through here. So if you see the green and violet line, so when we are running the orange one, it is going through the docker registry. So each one is having different lines. This orange one we can say docker pull, which is directly going to the registry, and the remaining two are the docker build and docker run, so which are going to the containers and the application. So depending on the command which we are executing, it is docker daemon is transferring our commands to the registry and the host and fetching the details again. So docker host is used to providing an environment to execute and run applications. So here inside the containers, our applications will be running. So it contains the Docker daemon, images, containers, networks, and storage. So host will be having all of those. And next is the Docker registry. So this is the Docker registry where we can store and manage the images, Docker images. And there are two types of registry. First is the public registry, which is also called a Docker Hub. You might have heard it so many times. And the other is the private registry. So private registry is used to share images within the enterprise. So yeah, that's about the Docker architecture. If you want to explore more about the host, which is the main part, which will be having the network and storage also, uh, you can watch my next videos which I will be posting in my YouTube channel. So for now, this is the simple architecture and the simple introduction about the Docker. It will give you overview of what is a Docker and how it works. And thanks for watching my video until the end. Thank you.